When you try to imagine a dragon in your mind, what do you see? A winged creature watching over a princess in a tower? Or how about some hulking, scaly fellow who's guarding treasure underneath a mountain? Or what about a red serpent-like creature like something you would see in a New Year's parade? Well, if you had recently seen the cover of Tsuro, you probably would have pictured the latter. Tsuro is an abstract game, so it leaves a lot up to the imagination while you play. And seeing how dragons have been a part of lore and myths for centuries, it's great to be able to add to that list of stories while you navigate tiles and play the game of the path. Tsuro is an abstract board game for 2 to 8 players. Players are going to place tiles on the board to build paths that begin at the edge of the board and travel around the interior. The object of the game is to keep your path from connecting to a different edge of the game board and to keep from running head-on into another player. Outlast all other players to win the game. Me, I like to pretend my dragon's name was Reggie, and he was just out for a leisurely fly when all these other dragons showed up and just ruined his peaceful day. I'm sorry, Reggie. Each path tile that you're going to play throughout Tsuro shows lines that create the paths your game pieces are going to travel along. As they are played, each path will become longer, which will in turn increase the chance that points can intersect when a new tile is played. Players must move their pieces along the path that the newly played tiles create, and they do so uninterrupted and independently. Each tile is unique. They're like the most evil snowflakes ever. Players take 3 actions on a turn. They play a tile from their hand of 3, move their markers along the newly created path, and then draw a new tile. When you place a tile from your hand, you play it on an open space next to your marker. You can place it in any direction, and it stays there until the end of the game. Those things aren't going anywhere. You'll need to be careful though and watch the paths on each tile that you play. You can knock yourself out of the game if you aren't careful. Once a tile is laid, all players adjacent to the tile move their markers along the appropriate path, starting with the player who played the tile. You move your marker all the way to the end of the open path. Players whose markers reach the end of the board or collide with another marker are eliminated and their tiles are shuffled into a draw pile. Lastly, in a turn, players draw a new tile so that they always have 3 in their hands. When new tiles become available, due to player elimination, a dragon tile is used to keep track of who draws tiles when new ones become available. The last player standing wins. Tsuro, like most abstract games, is very simple, and it can be a welcome change of pace if you're used to playing heavier games. It's got great artwork and quick, clean gameplay. Like most strategy games, however, the tides of the game can change very quickly with each turn, and it'll take play after play to master. Okay, so back to Reggie's story. The dragon's path was like life itself, tossed on the waves whose tides change with fickle and fleeting wind. He's broken, he's beaten, staying against the current. Okay, maybe I got carried away. If you're interested in filling in your own dragon story, however, check out Tsuro.